In this video, we want to integrate 24 over x squared plus 8x plus 20 raised to the 5/2 power. Okay, first let's break up the 20 into 16 plus 4, and then the 24 we can factor out. So now we can focus on factoring out the x squared plus 8x plus 16 as just x plus 4 quantity squared. From there, we'll make a u substitution. We'll let u equal x plus 4. So du is dx. Now the integral becomes 24 times the integral 1 over u squared plus 4 raised to the 5/2 power. Okay, and here we're going to do a u substitution, or trig substitution rather. So we're going to let u equal 2 times tangent theta. So du will be 2 times secant squared d theta. So replace du with 2 secant squared, and then u will just be 2 tangent. So I have to distribute the square here, so we have 4 tangent squared plus 4. And from there we can factor out the 4, and we have tangent squared plus 1, which is just secant squared. So in the parentheses we have 4 secant squared. Now this is being raised to the 5/2 power, so the 2's are going to cancel in the secant, and we're going to have secant to the 5th power. Now 4 raised to the 5/2 power, you can break this up as 4 raised to the 1/2 and then raised to the 5th power. And so 4 to the 1/2 is 2, raised to the 5th power is 32. So the denominator becomes 32 secant to the 5th. Now secant squared over secant to the 5th is secant cubed, and we're going to bring this 32 out as part of the denominator, and then 1 over secant cubed is just cosine cubed, and then 48 over 32 is just 3/2. So right now we have to integrate 3/2 times the integral of cosecant cubed. For that, we're going to break up cosecant as cosine and cosine squared. And cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared, because we know that sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. We're going to make a substitution. We'll let w equal sine of theta. So dw will become cosine theta d theta. So that turns into 1 minus w squared dw. And then we have the 3/2 outside. Integrating this, the antiderivative of 1 is w. Antiderivative of w squared is w cubed over 3. And so now we no longer have an integral, so we can substitute back. So w we said was sine of theta, so everywhere we see w, replace it with sine of theta. And recall, for our trig substitution, we said u was 2 tangent theta. So that implies that tangent theta is u over 2. So if we make a right triangle here, theta is our angle, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So in this case, I just said u over 2, and then all over 1 is just u over 2. Technically, you could also just say u and 2, and this will just be the square root of u squared plus 4. So that probably makes more sense to do, but yeah. So the triangle in red is just twice this triangle right here. So sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Notice the 2's are all going to cancel, because you have u over 2 divided by square root of u squared plus 4 over 2. So the 2's will cancel, and you get just u over square root of u squared plus 4. And then there's 2 spots for sine. There's sine and sine cubed, so that's what I have here. Now u, we said it was x plus 4. Replace that. And then remember, we factor the x plus 4 squared plus 4, which came from just x squared plus 8x plus 20. So this right here is our final answer. Now you could also distribute the 3/2 if you wanted, like this. And then the 3's are going to cancel, so we have 1/2. But yeah, I don't see the point in doing this. So whatever is at the top here is good enough.